silhouettes. So they're so cute and graphic, and I'm sure you have seen them everywhere. And so in this video, I want to show you how to make your own using Adobe Illustrator. There are a million different ways to create a silhouette. This is just the easiest method that I have found to create a vector graphic. Now, a vector graphic just means that you can expand it or shrink it to be whatever size you want it to be without losing some of that clarity. So we're going to create this digital graphic that then can be used for print or for web graphics, however you want to use it, but it will be just really nice to have it as a vector graphic, and we can do that in Adobe Illustrator. So let's get right to it. The first thing we're going to do is open up a document in Illustrator and then drag in a picture. So you're going to need a photograph of whatever it is you want to create your silhouette. You need a photograph of the profile. So I'm going to pull this one in of my little Audrey girl. And so yeah, we're going to use a photograph, and then we're just going to outline around it to use as our guide. Here is a little tip, not totally necessary, but when I'm doing silhouettes, I like to put the photograph in its own locked down layer so that when I'm tracing over top of it, I'm not going to move the photograph at all. I'll show you what I mean. If I come over to my layers panel and I see that this is in this top layer, and I'm going to lock it by clicking this little lock button. Now it just means that I have no control over any of this stuff that's going on in this top layer. So now I will create a new layer, just click this button, and I'm now in my second layer. So now I can create shapes or text or whatever it is that I want to do, and when I move it, I won't move this background information. So sometimes that's helpful if you need to separate things into layers just to kind of keep it simplified. So let's delete that, and we're going to get right into creating our silhouette. I'm going to zoom in a bunch by clicking Command and the plus sign just to get right in there so I can see her little sweet face. And I'm going to use my pencil tool. So go ahead and click on your pencil tool. Now I'm going to come into this photograph, and I'm going to just outline the shape of her little face. So I'm just using a mouse. If you have a tablet, you're welcome to use that, but I'm just using my mouse. The thing about the pencil tool is that if I need to let go of it, which I do because I'm getting down to the bottom of my mouse pad, I can just come into any of these little anchor points and keep going with my line. It will just edit it from those anchor point areas. So I'm gonna get right in there to her nose. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit more just so that I can see this better. And again, dragging my pencil from an anchor point and follow the path of her face. And when I start at that anchor point, it will edit the path from that point. Now, obviously my image is a little bit pixelated as I get in really close here, but I can just get the main outline of her face. And I'll finish right there. And then I'm going to do the top part. Let me zoom out. And again, starting at this anchor point, it will just continue this little path that I have here. Now this might look kind of crazy because she's got this big puff on her head, but we'll see how it turns out. And there's her hair. And again, I'll just follow those lines down to her neck. And then I'm going to end mine in kind of a point here and grab it up to this anchor point. Okay, so there's my whole outline. Right now I have no stroke and no fill, so I'm going to give it a black stroke here, and then you can fill it in, and there is the outline of her silhouette. Now, if you feel like, like this part right here looks a little crazy, so all I need to do is I'm going to go back to my stroke so that I can see what's happening. And I'm just going to kind of smooth this out a little bit. Like that. And then again, I can click to fill it to see how that looks. And it looks about like her. Now, one of the things I like to do with girl silhouettes is give them an eyelash just to make it extra girly. So I'm going to use my pencil tool, and just about where her eyelash would be, I'll just come make this little eyelash shape, and I will give it a fill in black so you can see the eyelash. Now I'm going to join these two together by selecting and then holding down the Shift key as I select the next shape, and Command G to group those together. And I'll zoom out a little bit. And there is my silhouette. Now I can go into my layers and unlock this top board, and then I can pull the photograph away. And here is my little silhouette that I made. Now the good thing, like I was saying earlier about a vector graphic, is that because it's made up of anchor points and paths rather than pixels, I can now pull it really, really large and have it printed, you know, super large. It will still have these nice straight lines here, or I can make it teensy tiny small, and that will also work for you. So that is how you create a silhouette, just by using that pencil tool. So one more thing I'm going to do with this one is that flower on top of her hair looks a little bit crazy. So I'm going to kind of give her my own hairstyle by grabbing this silhouette, and I'm going to pull it over and hold Option. That will just create a duplicate copy. And now if I use my pencil tool and start from one of these anchor points, I'm going to just give her my own hairstyle here. And that's kind of the fun thing about using the pencil tool. You can come in here and give her whatever you want it to look like. So now she can just have hair instead of that bow. And again, just grab from the anchor point if you want to adjust some of these little hairs here. It looks kind of crazy. And there we go. There is a great silhouette. Now just save it. You can, again, print it or just keep it as a digital file, and you have your own custom silhouette, a really easy way to make it and be able to use it for all different sorts of projects.